Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning to Fred and Lois watching in Oneonta.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. This is our Labor Day show, and we're going to be showing you some of our fan favorites. And if there's not enough time at the end of the show and they cut me, let me now wish you a very, very happy Labor Day.
I know life is never easy, I've always had it rough. Good things come those who wait, but it's never been good enough. Since you came into my life, you filled my heart with love. Now you wanna live without me, and girl, that'd be tough, 'cause I'll do anything.
Another historic landmark here in town is behind me. It's the Bates Hop House. During the Civil War, in a 4-month period, over 600 Union troops were housed there.
Now you wanna live without me, and girl, that'd be tough, 'cause I'll do anything for you. Yes, I'll do anything for you. If you ask me to swim the 7 seas.
In the center of the village is Clow's Bookstore, located in what was once the old Telegraph Building. It's a small shop, but it is packed with books, with no space going to waste.
It was supposedly the first telegraph office was opened up here, and it was used as a school to train women to use the telegraph, and it was associated with Samuel Morse, because he used to come up here and his cousin lived up the block. Mm-hmm. My father was a poet, and when I finished college and was in the service, I just figured I'd work for myself, so I opened the bookstore.
We just visited the Clow Bookshop here in the middle of town, and I couldn't help but notice this particular book of poems. I think it's pronounced Kaddish, I'm not sure, or Kaddish, by Allen Ginsberg. He goes back to my era, back in the 1960s, 1970s. He was a beatnik. What's significant about all this is that Allen Ginsberg, to get away from the big city of New York, moved up here to Cherry Valley.
Anyone who grew up in Cherry Valley knows Rory's Food Store. But the owner, Francis Rory, actually grew up in the store. He learned the grocery business from his father, but tells us many of his customers today think of it as a tourist attraction. So don't be surprised if he starts charging admission.
My father was a manager. This was a chain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, out of Schenectady.
What was it called?
Schaefer. Well, then 37, 38, they wanted to get rid of the little stores. So I sold them to the manager if they could raise a buck. I guess I was born in it. Only time I wasn't here is World War II. I'm older than you think.
Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Check out this Chrysler certified 08 Dodge Nitro 4x4 with leather moonroof and navigation system, now only $19,995. Check out what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. You go the extra mile for your small business and should expect the same from your insurance company. For over 140 years, Turnbull Insurance Service has been committed to local small business. For your commercial coverage, turn to the company ready to go that extra mile. Turn to Turnbull. Bring the family and celebrate fall during the Harvest Festival at the Farmers Museum. Experience the magic of Robert Olson, 19th century magician. Get a traditional silhouette portrait. Enjoy free rides on the carousel and sample seasonal foods at the Harvest Festival September 15th and 16th at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown. Buy the bushel and save at North Star Orchards. Take advantage of summer's bounty and stock up now for freezing and canning. Pick a peck of peppers. Choose from 8 varieties. Enjoy sweet nectarines and peaches from New York and Pennsylvania. Buy the bushel and save at North Star Orchards in Westmoreland. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products. At Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. Dave Morgan Productions presents An Afternoon Lost in the Ozone Again with the Commander Cody Band and special guests to benefit the Stephen Swan Humane Society Sunday, September 23rd. Admission is $20 plus a bag of pet food. Doors open at 2, music at 3 at the VFW on Mohawk Street in Herkimer, Sunday, September 23rd.
That hot rod, Lincoln.
Have a tropical adventure and walk among hundreds of free-flying butterflies, tropical birds, plants, lizards, and frogs at the Pop Butterfly Conservatory. It's an unforgettable experience for all ages. Open 7 days a week on Route 7 in Oneonta.
Heaven where the angels sing, God will grant you peace, you've earned your wings. Sing a song for me and let your banjo ring when you get to heaven where the angels sing.
Just off Route 29 on Fairview Road is another gorgeous picnic spot. This is the site of the historic Salisbury Center Covered Bridge. It is the only historic covered bridge in Herkimer County and one of only 29 in New York State.
If you are a fan of covered bridges, jump in your car, head down here to Salisbury Center, because there's one here that is 135 years old. And on top of that, you can have a picnic because along this beautiful creek, Spruce Creek, there are picnic tables scattered all around the place. The bridge is a king post with an arch, and there's a sign above it that says you can go no faster than a walk. If you do, you're going to be fined $1. Stupid me, I thought that meant people. What it means is horses. If you took your horse and the carriage over too fast, you were fined $1. Yeah, that's a lot of money back in those days.
The day that I met her, she was teaching her dog to stay. It was a big Irish setter. I reached out to pet her, it bit me and then walked away. She cleaned my aching wounds, and then she bandaged up my heart. And me and Loretta, I'll never forget her, but now she's gone away.
We continue our journey heading west on Route 29. We pass a familiar site at the Salisbury Rural Cemetery. The gleaming Yale Monument is dedicated to 10 generations of the Yale family, with figures depicting the various professions each of them pursued.
On a long country road, when I saw a man come through the fog on horseback, it must have been Wash Loomis's ghost.
We continue along Route 29 until an antique sign takes us on a detour up Military Road. This is the story of Carol and Ray Piazza and a hobby gone wild. Here you'll find an extensive collection of fascinating calendar clocks, beautifully carved walnut, oak, and cherry furniture, depression glass, lamps, and Persian rugs. Take a journey to Journey's End Antiques and Collectibles on Military Road.
What they say, he's searching for Filkins and his posse of men who ended his life that day.
Back on the corner of Route 29 and Military Road is Carol's Antiques and Collectibles. Here you'll find everything from glassware to vintage clothing. You can spend some time here digging for treasure.
One man named Filkins was constable. He vowed to stop this ring of thieves, but the Loomises gave money and threats to those.
It's time for a lunch break, and we hear the country store is a popular spot. Here you can shop for supplies or enjoy good old-fashioned comfort food. Select a salad, or if you're really hungry, their famous colossal calzone. Believe it or not, this is someone's idea of retirement.
Briefly, we were looking for a place halfway between our two families, one in Rochester, New York, and one in New Hampshire, and this pretty much fit the bill. We bought a house here, and we knew we still needed to work, so we came to run a cute little country store. We got into a little more than we bargained for. We do almost everything here. In fact, we call ourselves the Walmart of the Northland. If we don't have it, you don't need it. We do We have a dining room, we do food service, we do eat-in or takeout. We just added a full-service bar. We have a gift shop, we have fuel,
A deli.
we have a deli, we have an ice cream shop, we have an apartment for rent. We have pretty much a little bit of everything here.
And your restaurant, tell us when it's open. It's like every day.
Yes, we're open 7 days a week for 3 meals a day, 364 days a year.
So you take it easy one day a year.
Yes, we do take a little break one day a year. We have a lot of local people that we see a lot of regulars on a daily basis, which we love. We get to know everybody intimately. And then coming into like the summer season, we'll have people from downstate that come up to their camps, and so we look forward to them coming back every summer. The winter time, we get the snowmobilers coming up, and so we have different groups of people, and we love having them all.
So how's retirement?
Yeah. Retirement is non-existent pretty much, but we love what we're doing, and we try to have a good time every day.
Come here to the country store and tavern, because everybody in town usually will be here for lunch or breakfast or dinner as well.
Yep.
Dinner too. And the food here is served family style. And when I say that, I mean it. It is country cooking. And for classic car owners and motorcyclists, this is the place to come because they have ethanol-free gas.
It's the feeling I get when I look around. It lets me know I'm home.
In 1866, James B. Turnbull walked to farms and villages to visit his customers, earning their trust. Today, the fourth generation of Turnbulls continue that dedication, tailoring a life insurance plan to suit your unique needs and priorities. Turn to the company that is out there to earn your trust. Turn to Turnbull. Celebrated regional artists will be in Old Forge for the annual plein air paint out. Watch them paint and pick out your favorite before the art auction on Sunday at 5. There's a preview cocktail party Saturday night at 5:30. Visit viewarts.org for information. Dream big at the Women's Leadership Conference at Minnowbrook. Life coach Teresa Huggins hosts a weekend of discovery and personal growth at the lavish Grand Lodge at Blue Mountain Lake. Visit teresadhuggins.com to register for the Leadership Conference.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospitals on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment, and you're only available on the weekend. Sure, I have an appointment Sunday with Dr. Karen. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
It's the 4th annual Harvest Festival in Sharon Springs, Saturday and Sunday, September 15th and 16th. The whole village is taken over by farmers and craftspeople. The restaurants and shopkeepers feature local produce and products during the 4th annual Harvest Festival in Sharon Springs. This Saturday, September 8th, is the 11th annual Mohawk Valley Garlic and Herb Festival in Little Falls. While you're there, be sure to visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West. Over 40 local vendors, all under one roof. Antique lovers can spend hours perusing ever-changing antiques and collectibles. Upstairs, you'll find something for everyone: handmade crafts, jewelry, clothing, fine art, food, and kitchen gadgets. Shop local at the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West during the Garlic and Herb Festival this Saturday. Meelan's Meat Market is your meat headquarters, featuring low-salt, low-fat smoked ham and store-made kielbasa. Every hot dog, beef patty, and sausage is made by Bob Meelan himself. You'll find everything from store-made meats to fresh salads and tabbouleh at Meelan's Meat Market in Clark Mills. We continue our journey by traveling Route 5 along the Mohawk River to Little Falls. Here we catch Route 167 north to Dolgeville and enjoy some breathtaking views along the way. We've visited Dolgeville a few times in the past, and it has a fascinating history, much of it owed to the town's namesake, Alfred Dolge. The town's museum is located in an old firehouse built by Dolge.
The Dolgeville Museum was originally a firehouse built in the 1880s, so that it's now, 130 years old, this building. And fires would be reported by pulling down one of these, I remember them on the corners in Cornhill. You'd open this firebox, break the glass, pull down the handle, and it would come through here to a ticker tape. that would list on the ticker tape where the fire was located. In this case, it's firebox number 4, and that would be the Union Free School. There is a display here of early electric lights, and that's because there was a friendship way back when between Alfred Dodge and Thomas Edison. And if you come here, you'll find one of the very earliest electric bulbs.
Because of Dulge's relationship with Edison, Dulgeville was the first upstate village lighted by electricity. You can watch our tour of Edison's electric dynamo from our 2009 episode, posted on our website.
My wallet, no weight in my stash box. Just weight on these shoulders, but ain't gonna let it bring me down. There's weight on my spirit and there's weight on my mind. But the devil's gonna have to wait for this soul of mine a hell of a long time.
The Dulgeville Mannheim Public Library is located in the old bank building on Main Street. It opens at 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday. All this month, Tuesdays are Toddler Tales and Travel Days.
Is the sea, and I'm laying down soft like clouds on the ocean. Under the four winds, blow your love back to me.
A new restaurant in a historic building on Main Street is Brick's Pizzeria. It was opened just over a year ago by Ted and Daryl, two Dulgeville school buddies who saw an opportunity in the old candy store they visited as kids.
Well, we both grew up in Dulgeville. We went to Dulgeville school. We were classmates all through school. Teddy moved away after high school. After 15 years being away, he came back to town. And that's how we got together and started the pizzeria. As kids, we came here a lot. It was a ice cream store and a Dulgeville newsstand. You can come in and get candy, penny candy, and we always liked coming here. And then when it became available, it's a great location, and we thought this is where we want to be. Well, a lot of the teachers do come in and eat, our old past teachers, and I think some of them are surprised that Teddy and I did get into this. I don't know if they all thought we would be able to do something like this one day, but here we are.
I love coming in here because from top to bottom, you have tin ceilings, hardwood floors, these old-fashioned stools, these that were used by soda jerks, that's what they were called when I was growing up, and a marble-top counter. It's amazing. And speaking of amazing, check out the Monster Pizza. It is monstrous, and believe it or not, it's only $16.
Brick's Pizzeria is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Not only are they famous for their $16 monster pizza, but also for their fresh-cut fries and homemade soups. They're located on Main Street in Dulgeville.
To heaven where the angels sing. God will grant you peace, you've earned your wings. Sing a song for me and let your banjo ring when you get to heaven where the angels sing.
We travel over Dulgeville's lifeblood, the East Canada Creek, and along Highway 29 East, deep into the countryside. We travel up North Road near the boundary of the Adirondack Park. April 7th is International Beaver Day, so we're visiting the Beavers Wetlands and Wildlife Nature Preserve. Owen and Sue Brown helped found the nonprofit organization to continue the work of their friend and associate, the late Dorothy Richards, known as the Beaver Woman. Their 300-acre wildlife sanctuary helps people observe, study, and understand the important role beavers play in the balance of our environment.
Well, we met Dorothy Richards, the Beaver Woman, and we would go to visit her every week, and we just became fascinated with beavers. You know, they're amazing animals. Beavers show examples of reasoning. Like at Dorothy's, if a beaver fell off a chair, then it would put a cushion on the floor beneath the chair. And they have a sense of humor. Dorothy's beavers would grab a rug, she had these Persian carpets, and pull it towards their Y, you know, where they lived, with water. And if somebody would catch up with them, they would rise up on their hind legs and shake, which is like a beaver laughing. So we just found them really interesting, and then we began to realize they were so important in the environment. Probably the most important animal because they create habitat for so many other wildlife species and essential services for people too, like water cleansing. Well, we do it because we love it. We were both college teachers for quite a few years, and we find this is even more rewarding than that. And we love seeing the wildlife and the animals and helping people to coexist, especially now when we're having some climate change. And beavers have been called climate heroes because their dams keep water on the land, which is so important in times of drought, which are becoming more severe. And they also improve the water quality because the dams filter out silt, which is the leading impediment to aquatic life.
Celebrate International Beaver Day this week by learning more about this important animal. Call 518-568-2077. Learn more or become a member of Beavers Wetlands and Wildlife online at beaversww.org. Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas. Check out this Chrysler certified 08 Dodge Nitro 4x4 with leather moonroof and navigation system, now only $19,995. Check out what's hot on the lot at Skinner and Demoulas in Richfield Springs. Pool have a leak? Need a repair? Call Trenton Corporation Pool Repair for prompt professional service 7 days a week. Above ground and in ground leak locating, plumbing, and fittings testing. Call 793-7400 and they'll hop to it. Oscar's Picture Framing offers hand-finished molding and restoration of antique frames, preserving artwork, pictures, needlework, and memorabilia. Oscar's Picture Framing, Kellogg Road, New Hartford. It's the 4th Annual Harvest Festival in Sharon Springs, Saturday and Sunday, September 15th and 16th. The whole village is taken over by farmers and craftspeople. The restaurants and shopkeepers feature local produce and products during the 4th Annual Harvest Festival in Sharon Springs. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit yannickexcavating.com. The Village Crossing is having a 30% off summer fashion clearance sale going on now to make way for transitional fashions. Hurry into the Village Crossing on West Park Row in Clinton. Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. The Longaretta Law Firm, protecting your rights and advising you in matters of legal importance. Call for your free consultation, 735-6162. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377. Taste the homemade difference at Maria's Pasta Shop. Homemade lasagna, manigot, stuffed shells, ravioli, and more. Gelato is back for the season. Stop in and sample this Italian treat at Maria's Pasta Shop. If you're in a collision, you need Precision. Call your insurance company first and then choose Precision Unlimited, providing expert auto body collision repair since 1987 on Route 5 in Clinton. It's been quite a few years since we last visited Herkimer, so we decide to start there. And what better place to start than Main Street at the historic Four Corners. The 1884 Herkimer County Historical Society Museum is open for free tours weekdays from 10 to 4. The artifacts from the 17 and 1800s help tell the story of the early settlers of Herkimer County.
The German Palatines were the first ones to settle in what was known as Stone Ridge at that time in 1722. They came here from Rhineland, Germany. They settled along the Mohawk River. This area was part of the Burnettsfield Patent that was signed in 1725. Eventually, the name was changed to Herkimer in 1857 after General Nicholas Herkimer. I remember you were here a few years ago and we talked about the famous Chester Gillette Grace Brown murder trial. Well, today we're going to talk about a new murder that that has not gotten a lot of publicity. A new book has been written by Jim Greiner. He's Herkimer County and Town of Herkimer historian. And he's written a book all about the murder of William Druce. The murder took place in 1854. It was December 18th of that year. Roxalana was the wife of William Druce, and they didn't have a very pleasant marriage. They argued a lot. He had threatened her life a couple times. They had a daughter, Mary, a son, George, and a nephew, Frank Gates. And they all lived at the house. And one morning, well, I should say December 18th, she decided to do him in. We don't know if she went temporarily insane or she just decided to get rid of him. And so what she did is she shot him. She had some of the children help out with the murder. She got an axe, and she asked the boys were young, they were in their early teens, and she had them go upstairs, and she had Mary stay with her. And she chopped her husband's head off and then chopped him up into smaller pieces and burned him in the parlor stove. Burning flesh gives off a very bad odor, and the neighbors wondered what was going on. So some of the neighbors did go and investigate, but she kept up with a story that Mr. Druce had gone to New York City. Well, finally they decided, well, maybe we should go to Herkimer, get the sheriff, and do an investigation, and they did do it. And one of the boys finally told what had happened, and Roxy was arrested, brought to the Herkimer County Jail, held on the 3rd floor, and Mary was put in jail for a year, and the 2 boys were released. They were too young. The trial took place at the courthouse that still stands today, and Roxy was found guilty. And the hanging took place out back of the jail on February 28th of 1887, 125 years ago. It was significant because she was the last woman hanged in New York State. And this was at a time period, too, when women's rights was just getting its early grassroots, and they tried to get Roxy off because of the abuse from Mr. Druce, and it didn't happen. It was an all-male jury at that time.
I am here at the historic Four Corners on North Main Street. It is so filled with history. The building behind me, for example, housed 2 very, very interesting people in the history of Herkimer County, namely Roxy Druce and Chester Gillette, both of whom were executed, right? Yes, back in the days when there was capital punishment in New York State. It was in this very courtroom that Chester and Roxy both were tried. And these benches that I'm standing in front of, these are the benches that existed way back then, so that if you sit in one of these, you're sitting in a bench that spectators watch those 2 historic trials. I am sitting in the jury box that was here back for both of those trials, and it was from this very spot that the foreman would stand up and say, "Guilty."
He steers a T-bird like you never seen, picks up the young